StrayAllDay.com.
Baldwin, workonyourgame.com, DreAllDay.com. Today's daily motivation is knowing what game you are in. And this is something that I've been talking about for a while with entrepreneurs, but I also can relate it to the athlete world because I've been in both worlds as a professional. And we'll start in the business world. Starting in the business world is helping people understand that you need to know what game you're in, what business you are actually in. So a lot of people think they're in the business of whatever the thing is that they do. So if you write books, you think you're in the book writing business when you're actually not really in the book writing business. You're usually in the book selling business because the only way the business happens is if a book gets sold. Book doesn't, you don't make any money just by writing the book. You make money by selling the book. You understand what I'm saying here? So sometimes it can be that simple of understanding this. And also you may be in a health, wealth, relationships. Those are the three main, what do we call them? Just the main areas that anything could be in. So if you're selling grooming products, you're selling women hygiene products, you're selling cars, you're selling fitness, you're selling food, all of them fall under one of those three categories: wealth, health, and relationships. You need to know what industry you're in. You got to know what business you're in, because when you understand what business you're in or what game you're in, as of what I'm saying in today's topic, it'll help you better direct your energies and your focus and help you better make decisions as to what to do next. So a lot of people get focused on the minutia of the thing that they're in and don't even realize that's not really the business. Again, the example that I just said, if you're writing books, you're not in the book writing business because anybody could write a book and the book could just be a lot of people who tell me, first time authors, they tell me they're writing a book and their book is usually just their personal story and what they went through and things like that. And the inconvenient truth about that is most people don't care about your story. If you, unless you have an audience of people who have already bought into you as a person, generally people don't really care about your story. They care about their story. So your book, if you're trying to sell more copies, more than likely should be about how they can relate to it and how they can get something out of it, not glorifying yourself. Again, unless you happen to be famous or you happen to be an audience of people to whom you are famous, then it would make more sense. This video is not really about books, but I'm just using that as an example here in this video. Also, when we go to the sports world, is helping athletes understand what game you're in. And knowing what game you're in will help you make better and smarter decisions about what you're doing. I'll give you an example. When I was in college, one of my, the coach who recruited me to go to one of the school I ended up graduating from, was Penn State Altoona. He lost his job. He got replaced by a different coach. Now, this new coach had not recruited me. And any of you knows anything about college sports, you know that a new coach comes in. Sometimes they clean house and they get rid of the old players, bring in new players. Ended up being a casualty of his process. I actually was on the team initially, but didn't last on his team. And the reason I didn't last on his team is not because of him doing anything necessarily wrong. He did what he wanted to do. He was in charge. I didn't realize what game I was in. The game that I was in was the coach is in charge and they make every call, whether you agree with them or not. They had the final say as to how things go. And it doesn't matter what a player thinks, especially at the collegiate level, because you have no say, you have no power. And that was the situation. Because I didn't understand that game, I ended up paying for it by not being on the roster when I could have easily just swallowed my pride and just stayed on the roster, which I think would have been more beneficial for me to just have the experience of being on the team. I doubt it would have affected my professional prospects because it didn't matter. The school that I was at wasn't really producing pros anyway. It wouldn't have mattered whether I put up stats or not there. I still would have had to do the same thing to get into the pros. But I would have had the experience of being on the team, which I think would have helped me, and I would have had more fun just being on the team than not being on the team. The whole point being, I didn't know what game I was in. And a lot of times in life, people don't know what game they're in because they think they're in one game, but they're actually in another. So you need to know, what game am I actually in? What really makes things happen here? What really makes things work here? And is often something different than what many people think. And it's often not the thing that your ego is telling you makes things move. That's the key point that I want you to get. What your ego is telling you makes things move is not the same as what actually makes things move. It's very rare that our ego is telling us the same thing that's actual reality and actual truth. If you want some help with this, I can help you out. Excuse me, I can help you out. You just tell me what you're doing, and I'll help you assess what's actually true, which again may bruise your ego. So if you have a fragile ego or a weak ego, I'm not the person you want to talk to about this, but I will tell you the truth, whatever it happens to be and wherever it may lead. So with all that said, make sure you text me so you're getting my daily motivation text that I send out every single day for free. Well, it's free to be in my text community. Daily motivation is what, $2 a month? You'll get my daily motivation $2 a month, not $2 a day, $2 a month. But if you can text me, it's free to get in my text community. I do send out a Monday motivation for free every single Monday. My number is 305-384-6894. Just text me. You'll be in my text community. We'll tell you all your options there. Again, cost you nothing to get into it. And then workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's where I do all my coaching. If you want to be coached by me directly, that's the only place I coach anybody. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That link's down below in the description. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time we drop a new video here on this channel. Work on your game. Dre all